All right, welcome to everybody that is joining in for this week's top 5 Michael Bay. All right, I'm your host Ruben. You can follow me on social media at Atticus_95. And again, MovieByte is on a break for summer. We'll be back around August with our season 2. So in the meantime, I have decided to share with all of you my top 5 of either directors, actors that I find that I have personal favorites. Keep in mind, this is my top 5. You're all welcome to share your top 5 in your comments. Share ideas, like whatever you guys want. Okay, again, this is my top 5. These are movies that I personally like. If you dislike them, just let me know. It's always fun to debate. And today we're going to be discussing, like I said at the beginning of the episode, Michael Bay. I got a couple of comments here. Look at that, Stevie. It's better without the Russian. Go solo, Timberlake did. Come on, man. I can't do that to the Russian. He's probably watching. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be nice to the Russian. He's probably watching this. Come on, let's be nice. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing my top favorite from Mr. Michael Bay himself, as you can see on the screen right there. I like to call Mr. Michael Bay Mr. Blockbuster. The reason why, every movie that he directs, he turns into a blockbuster, no matter how bad the story is. In fact, I found that one of my buddies shared a clip with me from the YouTube site Epic Rap Battles, and I found this hilarious because it pretty much describes everything that Michael Bay is. So I'm going to go ahead and share it with you right now.
Enough crap from all of you when I come down there and show you what a real star can do. I swore blow with the telephoto. No Bruckheimer, I work solo. If there's one thing I've learned, bitch, this game is about motherfucking money. I make that dollar, y'all, motherfucking money. Even make Mark Wahlberg make some motherfucking money. Shopping, got a few drops of that got milk money. Rose to the rock, now I got that socks made of silk money. I ain't got that guilt money, I don't give a fuck. I take my checks to the bank and I sign them with my love.
Alright, so that's it right there. What better ways to describe who is Mr. Michael Bay? Michael Bay, Mr. Blockbuster himself, like you said, directors, a studio pays him money, he'll make a movie out of it, he'll turn it into a multi-million-dollar franchise, and he will spawn multiple sequels, alright? Yo, what's up, Psych? What's up? Thanks for joining in. Jesse. I think Paulo found that clip hilarious. I think Michael wrote the lyrics. I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised to know. I think Michael Bay has a very huge ego. Anyways, let's start with my top 5 of Michael Bay. Alright? So first of all, number 5, okay, is I really enjoy this movie. I find it to be very different from what he normally does. I like the comedy elements of it, the drama behind it, and it's actually even inspired by a true story. And I'm talking about number 5, Pain and Gain, starring Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson. We have Tony Shalhoub from Monk. We got Anthony Mackie, Rebel Wilson. This movie, it's a passion project that Michael Bay had. What's up, Louis? Surprisingly good. Yeah, so this was a passion project that Michael Bay did for Paramount. He actually said, if you guys want me to do Transformers 4 or Transformer Age of Extinction, which is how it's known for, he requested Paramount to give him time to do this movie because it's a movie that he always wanted to make. It's based on an article of a group of bodybuilders that pretty much conned a rich man to signing off all his assets by kidnapping him, and there were a lot of murders involved. And the way that Michael Bay portrays this movie with a little comedic element makes it even special. Yo, what's up, Miles? Thanks for joining in. So again, Pain and Gain. It's great performances from Mark Wahlberg, from Dwayne Johnson. Like seeing Dwayne Johnson play a bodybuilder that's also Christian, and he has morals, but then gets drug addicted. It's very funny. And Mark Wahlberg again. It's one of those many roles that he plays himself. So it's even funnier to see him in this movie playing, again, Mark Wahlberg as Mark Wahlberg. Pretty much after this movie, Mark Wahlberg went on to work with Michael Bay with Transformers Age of Extinction and Transformers The Last Night. Dwayne Johnson was actually going to be the one that's going to be in the Transformer movie, Age of Extinction, but due to scheduling conflict, he could not, and that's why Michael Bay went with Mr. Mark Wahlberg. All right, so number 4 of my top 5 Michael Bay movies. This movie pretty much launched, brought back the body cop genre. What do you get when you put 2 comedic sitcom stars together and place them in one of the hottest cities of the United States, right? You get Bad Boys, all right? Starring Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, rising from their stardom from Martin Lawrence from his sitcom show Martin, Will Smith from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. What do you get? You get a perfect blend of comedy, action, set in Miami. You got drugs, you got police, corrupt police officers, you get car chases, you get explosions. Like, this is Michael Bay's first film in 1995. This movie introduced us to who is Michael Bay nowadays. Keep in mind, Michael Bay started as a music video director. Pain and Gain was pretty good in my book. It is. The original is still the best. Agree at 5 there. Thank you, guys. So I was saying, Michael Bay started as a music video director, and it's something that you can see in his movies as the ways he directs. 360-degree shots, 45-degree angle. Michael Bay has also been criticized in the past for sexualizing most of his co-stars, and big examples Megan Fox, who starred 2007's Transformers and pretty much launched her career from that movie on. But he's always been criticized of sexualizing his star. He's also a very patriotic director. The American flag is always shown in any sort of way in the movies. I recently saw Pearl Harbor again during Memorial Day weekend, and it's a guilty pleasure. It's not the best movie out there, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure. Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 were his best, in my honest opinion. Wow. Okay. No judgment there. Bad Boys for me is number 4, given that it's Michael Bay's first movie. It pretty much introduced us, like I said, to who is Michael Bay. The movie went on to have a successful franchise. Bad Boys 2 came out in 2003, again directed by Michael Bay, returning Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And then the latest one was Bad Boys for Life, for which, if I understand, Michael Bay got a executive producer credit, but he did not direct it because he didn't want to be involved because he had other projects involved. But now there is a rumor that he might be returning for the 4th installment of Bad Boys, which is currently in pre-production, okay? All right, so after number, in that order, LTS. All right, so, Bad Boys 2 is not a bad movie. It's very enjoyable. I actually saw Bad Boys 2 in theaters about 3 times when it got released in 2003. It's very funny. It clocks in at 2 hours and a half. It's a pretty long movie for a action body cop movie, but it's very, very entertaining. All right, so number 3, this movie, I believe, in my opinion, is Michael Bay's most underrated project. A lot of people do not know that this is a Michael Bay movie. This movie was not marketed properly when it was released in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, or 2005, I believe. Actually, I got to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's 2005. The movie was not marketed properly. When this movie was released, the poster, it only said the title. It didn't say anything else. Even the trailer didn't help it. And I'm talking about The Island, starring Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. Again, this movie is something different from what Michael Bay. He pretty much tackles the genre of sci-fi and then adds on his action touch to it. We got a movie that's about a group of people that live in a secluded like secluded from humanity, right? And they all think that they are living like in this world separate from everybody else, and everybody gets to go to the island, right? The movie is filled with a lot of twists. It has Sean Bean again playing in a villainous role. Sean Bean, probably the most awesome actor out there that always ends up being dead in his movies. And for those who don't know who Sean Bean is, he played Ned Stark in the first season of Game of Thrones. So, the island has a lot of twists. It turns out to be something different to what you brought in from the beginning of the movie. And this is where a lot of people don't believe that this is a Michael Bay movie, because other than midway in the movie, top 3, 2005. Thank you so much. Yes, I wasn't sure it was 2004, 2005. It was around there. But it was a movie that, again, didn't do so well in the box office out of Michael Bay's filmography. And it's a shame, because I personally find this movie to be a very, very good movie. And again, underrated. So if you haven't checked The Island, I would totally give it a look, because it's really good. Ewan McGregor is amazing in it, and obviously Scarlett Johansson. This is pre-Iron Man 2, pre-Avengers. Like, this is when she was still not that known, and now she was pretty much being casted as eye candy, pretty much. So I will definitely recommend you guys check out The Island. Saw it on the theater. Yeah, me too. I actually saw The Island in theaters as well. And I was super impressed to what I saw. And again, it was very misleading. The poster didn't show much whenever you saw the poster. It wasn't until the movie got released on DVD that they actually had to change the artwork for the poster to see if it could sell DVDs at that time, because the movie theater poster didn't do any help. Similar thing happened with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt's Edge of Tomorrow movie. It wasn't marketed properly. It's a very underrated movie. It's really good. And when the movie got released in like the Blu-ray or DVD formats, they actually changed the title card of it to Live, Die, Repeat. Subtitle Edge of Tomorrow, to promote the more closer to the premise of what the film actually was. Because again, the trailer didn't do any justice. A lot of people thought the Edge of Tomorrow was like kind of like a video game movie, and it didn't do so well. Also a good one. Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow is a great film. It's probably, whenever I do a top 5 with Tom Cruise, I probably put it in there somewhere. But yeah. All right. So I said 5, 4, and 3. Perfect. So my number 2, and I saw this movie in theaters when it came out in 1997, I believe. And it has an amazing cast, and this movie I think everybody has seen at some point. And I'm talking about Armageddon, starring Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Steve Buscemi, Billy Bob Thornton. Like this movie has a huge cast. This movie pretty much came out after Michael Bay's The Rock, which was pretty much his first summer blockbuster, and then Armageddon became his second one. And this movie has everything. Leave Michael Bay to make a movie about space, about astronauts, not only astronauts, oil riggers turned into astronauts to destroy an asteroid that's about to hit Earth, right? Like, it doesn't get any better than this. This is classic like 90s storyline. Like, let's just put the average Joe, train him to be an astronaut to save the planet, right? Only Michael Bay can make an action scene in space. You know, how you have a satellite exploding and you create a chase scene in that. You have spaceships crashing into an asteroid, and you make it into a chase scene. Huge cast, and revive Aerosmith when the song came out. Absolutely. This movie has an amazing soundtrack and Aerosmith in it, and this is about the same time that Steven Tyler discovered that his daughter was Liv Tyler, you know? And again, obviously, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing got nominated for Best Original Song, and it's an amazing song to date. And like Lewis just said, it just revitalized, put Aerosmith back on the spot as one of the biggest rock bands out there. So Armageddon, I just said it. Oilriggers in space trying to save the planet from an impending doom of an asteroid that's about to hit them. This movie has Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, a very young career. Bruce Willis at his prime. Billy Bob Thornton before his Bad Santa days. Like, this is the movie. Like, everybody needs to see this. If you haven't seen Armageddon, I do not know what planet you live on, because this is amazing. All right. So, before I reveal my top one, which obviously, if you're still here watching with me, you know which most likely is going to be my top one. There are a couple honorable mentions that I find that I almost made it to the list, but they didn't have room for it. So my first honorable mention out of the Michael Bay series, it's going to be 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, based on a true story about the Benghazi raid in the U.S. Embassy, starring John Krasinski. And again, this was more of a personal project, passion project for Michael Bay. And again, this movie truly shows Michael Bay's patriotic side. You know, this is a great movie, great action scenes. It really takes John Krasinski from that Jim Halpert role in The Office, and it puts him in a different perspective that you've never seen him in. And it's just full. Where can I watch it? Which one are you talking about? Armageddon or 13 Hours? Let's see if you can let me know which movie you're talking about. 13 Hours is, again, based on a true story. Obviously, it's full of action scenes, and it's just one of those movies that it's 13 Hours. I don't know where you maybe be able to find it. It's not like on. Let me see real quick. Let me check real quick. This is the advantage of being live with you guys, because I can just look up shit real quick for you. Let me see. Give me 1 second. 13 Hours. 13. Let me see if I don't know where you can watch it. It looks like you can watch it if you have Hulu Live. You can watch it through FX. So if there's any way you have FX, you can watch it through Hulu Live or FX on demand. If not, you can rent it or purchase it on any digital platform. So that's it. All right. So my other honorable mentions. I normally have 2 honorable mentions, and the reason I picked this one because we all grew up with these toys, and love and hate. So Torrent it is. I'm sorry I have to show this. I don't patronize this, so that's up to you. I do not encourage that format, but that's completely up to you. So my other honorable mention is going to be 2007's Transformers. This movie pretty much kickstarted a whole franchise of live action movies based on toys. It introduced us to G.I. Joe. It has about 5 Transformer movies, including a spin-off with Bumblebee, and a lot more coming out. This movie pretty much launched the career of Megan Fox, Shia LaBeouf, and it's just, we all grew with Transformer toys. We all grew watching the show, and you gotta have at least an honorable mention on a Transformer movie from Michael Bay. Out of the 5, it is personally the best one. I feel like all the other ones, they start going down as far as stories, but they are very entertaining movies. They're full of action, and it's just one of those movies that you just put in the background and just do whatever you need to do, and you'll still be knowing what's happening and enjoy watching what you're going. So 2007's Transformer is an honorable mention as far as Michael Bay works goes by. All right. If you're still here with me, I appreciate it. So the number 1 film for me, and I think everybody would agree, is, let's look it up, The Rock, starring Mr. Sean Connery, may God bless his soul, Mr. Nicolas Cage, and Ed Harris. Which, by the way, Ed Harris was also in Pain and Gain. And so it marks a return of him working Bay. The Rock, man. This is probably Michael Bay's best film to date, released in 1996. It pretty like seeing Sean Connery playing a convict that is the only man that escaped Alcatraz, and he gets pretty much hired by the FBI to infiltrate again the Alcatraz with Nicolas Cage to disarm nuclear warheads that are being held by a rogue general that is holding a lot of people hostage. Like, sheesh, I haven't seen it. Gonna go stream it right now. Whoa, if you haven't seen The Rock, you're literally living in a rock. Pardon my pun. You need to see The Rock. This movie is amazing. Also, this movie has a uncredited script draft by Mr. Aaron Sorkin. For those who didn't know, he did some rewrites on it. This movie, again, 1996, it has Nicolas Cage right in his prime. We all know how Nicolas Cage has gone downfall. But the late 90s was top for Nick. Sean Connery, everybody knows Sean Connery from Mr. James Bond, Highlander. This is one of the few movies that he did in the 90s, besides Entrapment, which is another good movie for him. Totally agree with your number one. Saw this only once. You only seen The Rock once? Come on. This movie deserves to be seen a lot more. Come on. You guys got to do better than seeing it once. Like, come on. Anyways, The Rock. It's just filled with super action scenes. It pretty much gave us a look of what really Michael Bay is. Bad Boys 1 was his first movie, but it was released in April, and it has some good action scenes, but I think he was still toning it down. It wasn't until The Rock came out that we actually saw like explosions for what he is actually known for, and like it just blows my mind. Like, this movie is really good, has a good cast as well. Besides Ed Harris, we got David Morse in it. He was in The Green Mile, which we did a MovieByte episode on. In fact, like, I honestly believe we should do a MovieByte review of The Rock eventually down the line, because this is by far Michael Bay's best film today. Like, if you have not seen The Rock, like, just stop what you're doing. In fact, I'll give you permission to stop watching my video and jump and stream it, rent it, buy it. Honestly, you will not be disappointed if you buy this movie. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been my top 5 with MovieByte. Subconsciously, I own every Michael Bay movie. I just realized that the other day. I actually ended up buying Pearl Harbor because it's on sale, because it was probably the only movie I did not have from him. And now I actually have every single Michael Bay movie that he has made. Quick fact, Michael Bay's also been producer on a lot of horror remakes, including the Amityville Horror, Friday the 13th. He was a producer on A Quiet Place Part 2, which just got released in theaters recently. So he owns a production company called Platinum Dunes, and he's been a producer in a lot of horror movies in the past few years. One of the first ones that he produced was actually the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel. That's one of the first movies that he produced under his banner for horror movies. So not only does he direct explosive movie, he actually invests in horror remakes. Are they good? Not really. You be the judge for that. But anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in to MovieByte Top 5 with me, your host, Ruben. Again, this is going to be a little thing I'll be doing during the summer until MovieByte officially returns, me and the Russian. And again, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, MovieByte Podcast, go ahead and do that now. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me on my social handle Atticus_95. And next week, I will be doing a top 5 of Steven Spielberg. It's gotta be a hard one. I gotta give this a lot of thought, because it's gonna Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And he actually produced that one, and yeah, we all know how that ended. So yeah, I've never said they're good, so just people out there may like them. I'm not here to judge. So next week, top 5 with MovieByte with Mr. Steven Spielberg himself. It's not going to be an easy one. I got to give a lot of thought of which are my top 5. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. If you have a top 5 of Michael Bay, please leave it in our YouTube section, comments, like the video, dislike the video. Just tell us how we can improve or change. Again, thank you so much. So I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, next week on Top 5 with MovieByte.